Welcome to day one, the stages of transformation. This whole program in week is intended to give you universal skills to blow past the self sabotage, to blow past any limiting beliefs, and to get into progress and growth and what you really want. And this skill is going to give you that ability.
We are under the desire to teach you how to identify what you don't know about your behavior patterns, your thought patterns, and then help you transform that into a optimal functional being. And in order to do so, you need to know where you have to know what you don't know about yourself that's dysfunctioning, and then we're going to show you the stages of transformation, how to get out of it. So to start off, you really want to understand this idea of input output. This is the foundation of how your neurocellular system physiology operates. Input means what food am I putting into the cellular system, to the physiological system, what thoughts, what emotions, how much water am I drinking, who am I surrounding myself with, what information am I intaking. All of those, that input is going to put an output on, is going to lead to an output, meaning like how you're moving, how your body's digesting food, how you're reacting and responding in your relationships, how you're showing up for work, your creativity, your flow, all is determined by input. So if there's dysfunction in your input, that means that you are in a disease state, you're anxious, you're depressed, that you're not feeling good constantly, you've lost your energy, you've lost your vitality that you remember that you once had. You want to go back to recognize, well, what's my input? Am I doing something that the body system, the mechanism and physiology isn't coherent with? And is my output because of a dysfunctional pattern? This is the forefront of recognizing that whatever you are right now, whoever and however you're showing up in your life, it's either functional and it's in a really high state and everything's going really well, or you're in a state of dysfunction and it's showing up in the form of pain or some form of dysfunction. And so that would be your output.
And so the society we live in doesn't do well with pain. In fact, we try to hide it. We try to numb it. We try to act like it's not there. And this can be social pain. This can be emotional pain. This can be physical pain in the body. And in today's world, we try to numb it. So it's like this picture you see here. You can see a house and there are smoke alarms going off and there's smoke coming up. Well, in today's world, instead of actually looking for the root cause, people will do whatever they can to avoid listening to that annoying alarm, because that alarm's going off and it's annoying and you have to hear it all the time. And so now they try to get rid of it. And so what do we do to get rid of those annoying smoke alarms in our society today? We pull the batteries out. That's what we do. We pull the batteries out of the alarms, and you can see in this one we've got pills in there. Pills are for physical pain, right? We'll take pain relievers. There's no study that shows success over 6 months ever for pain relief. People just degenerate and their pain gets worse and their quality of life gets worse and they're addicted to a narcotic now. However, that can be Netflix. It can be numbing. It can be alcohol and drugs. It can be social. It can be relational. It can be anything. It's numbing it, and it's taking away from the natural signal system that the body has, where it's trying to tell you that there's something wrong. That's emotions, whatever it may be. Because if we take the batteries out, what happens? What happens to us if we take the batteries out and we numb it? We end up with our house on fire. Our house is still on fire because it was smoking. It was trying to let us know. So then our house is on fire, and now there are more alarms that are going off, and we end up really sad. We end up hurting. We end up sick. We end up with these chronic diseases of lifestyle or chronic pain, and we end up with a lot bigger problem than had we addressed it when it was just a little whiff of smoke. And so in order to give you a skill to prevent these type of painful situations in your life from developing, we have to go through the stages of transformation. And the first step that's so fundamental to understand about transformation is that you don't know what you don't know. So if you're avoiding something or if you're numbing it, then you have unconscious dysfunction. Unconscious dysfunction is the first step. This is the scary step. This is monsters that are underneath the bed that you don't know about, and you're not even looking to see if there's monsters there. They're just there, but they're ruining your life because you won't touch the floor, right? So instead, whatever it may be, it's the fact that you are unaware of the dysfunctional pattern and you don't have the ability to correct it because you're not even putting any attention on it. And we know that we are the animating energetic field of awareness that's being hosted by our biology. We are awareness incarnate. And so we put that awareness into, well, first of all, we have to say that it's a dysfunctional world that we're raised in. That's the biggest problem, first of all.
And so here are some of the things that you'll see in unconscious dysfunction. Again, a lot of times what we'll end up doing is we'll read the information incorrectly. We'll think something's wrong with us. I'm dysfunctional, but it's the societies we live in. If we are a Ferrari, you're not going to put diesel fuel into it and take it up a mountainside. The human body has a way to eat, it has a way to sleep, it has a way to move. And so our society has us sitting in an enclosed room, 12 hours a day. We're eating food that has no fiber, no micronutrients. We're overstressed. We stay up late. We react and respond from not having emotional resilience, being able to understand our anger or our sadness. And so to deal with all of this, we're drinking and smoking. So dysfunction is just a way that we've been conditioned. And as Nand had said earlier, pain is one of the formats that the body, it's a messenger that says, hey, you're eating the wrong foods. You can't drink any more alcohol. There's pain in your back because you've been slumped over a desk all day long. And now you're looking like like you're 90 years old, humped over. And that's not the way the body's supposed to be. That moves you into conscious dysfunction. How do you become aware of what you don't know? Unconscious dysfunction, I don't know what I don't know. You're not going to change what you don't know. You have to first figure that out. That's called conscious dysfunction. It's when you become aware. Operative word here, aware of the dysfunctional pattern, but you're not proficient in it. Nobody's told it to you. Nobody's shown it to you. You didn't have a parent show it to you. You don't have a coach. So you're not proficient. That's okay. The objective right now is figure out what's dysfunctional, what behavior pattern, what thought pattern, what emotional pattern is dysfunctional that's causing you anxiety, pain, suffering. Just figure it out, bring it to your awareness, and then you can move into the next stages. But for now, the things that bring you into conscious dysfunction can be any of these things, and usually it comes in the form of pain, unfortunately, because nobody learned the stage of transformation. So they have to wait for pain or breakup or going to jail because they're drinking and driving, or they're fatigued, or they're having abdominal pain because they're eating the wrong foods. But these are blessings nonetheless, because it moves you out of unconscious dysfunction, and it brings a red alarm for you to say, hey, well, let me bring my attention to my back, to my behavior pattern, to my relationship. This is the grace coming from the messengers to say, you don't want to keep living in dysfunction. Something is going to help pull you out of it. Hopefully it's not pain. With the stage of transformation, you're going to be able to understand and recognize that I potentially have dysfunction, that I can assess myself and be aware of it, and then I can start to find out who has the right information.
So then you move into consciously functioning. Once you have looked under the bed, once you see the monsters, once you know where you're at, once you understand and you actually do the self-assessment to evaluate where am I on a spectrum of where I would like to be and where I see other people around me. How successful can I be? And then we raise the standards of what do I tolerate for myself, and we put forth that effort towards functioning. And this is effortful effort. You have to consciously change. If you want to make a difference, if you want your life to be different, then you have to put in that different information. And that's physical information and movement. That's biochemical information in the food and things you're eating and drinking. And that's neurochemical information in the way that you are thinking and the thought patterns that are coming over and over again. And knowing that eventually the goal is that it will become automatic. It will become who you are, and that's where we all want to be, where we are living that life. But that life that we desire, the one that we know we want, what information is that person who has already achieved these things, what information is going into their body? Because if we can figure that out and start putting that information in our system now, then we can start to change. Then we can start to transform and become that person that we know we can be.
And so, this is again, what you're looking at here is who has the right information. Because clearly I didn't get it from my education, I didn't get it from my parents, I didn't get it from the coaches. Well, now I'm, in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and I've been doing the same thing over and over again. And now I need different results. So I need different info. That means I'm going to have to find a different individual who knows movement really well. And then I need to find out somebody who can show me how the relationship actually, is healthy. And I didn't learn that from my parents. So I have to go out into the world and have to learn it. I have to learn how to move my body correct. I have to go back to school. I have to learn new skills. I have to see a nutritionist, somebody who can teach me, okay, my body can't eat this particular food. For example, one of our programs, our movement program, is designed because we're trained in movement and chiropractic medicine. We know how the body's supposed to move. So we're not going to throw weights at you. First time in the gym, we're going to make sure you're functionally moving. And then we hold you accountable until you are habituated into unconscious function. So now you're learning new information from people who are skilled and who understand it. They're training you in it. And now with effort, you're going to repeat it over and over and over again until you come into unconscious function.
That's where it's automatic. That's where you have become. And so you'll see in the next slide how these behaviors are all activities that you know are a part of who you are becoming, and the activities that you know are involved in health and well-being. And before we get to this unconscious functional state, it takes thought, it takes awareness. You have to go through the stages and to do a rigorous self-assessment, and then to find out who has the information and how can I apply it to my life or to your life. How can you apply this information so that you can grow? We know if you take a frog and you put it in boiling water, the frog will jump out right away. However, if you put the frog in cold water and slowly turn the water up little by little by little, the frog will boil to death. And that's sad, but how many areas of our life and how often are we like the frog, where we tolerate this increasing temperature, this increasing dysfunction in our life until we have to numb it, until we are pretending like it's not there and that it's okay, when really we know we don't want to be in that boiling water, and we've been in the boiling water for way too long.
That's right. And so, we are under the premise that we recognize the human body is the most impressive tool that you will ever own in your entire life. And because you didn't have an instruction manual and we're put into a dysfunctional system, we're just practicing dysfunctional patterns. With the right amount of transformation, with moving into functional states, your clarity improves, your creativity improves, your movement improves, you look younger, you feel better, you're going through life with a vigorous vitality. And that's what we want for you guys in our in this class over the next 7 days, is to be able to teach you these skills, how to move from these dysfunctional patterns to understanding your dysfunction, to getting the right skill sets. And we'll give you as many as we possibly can on our platform, and to get you to a place where you don't have to think about it. You're living a functional, happy, content life.
So today, for today's tool for growth, we're going to do a self-assessment, and we're going to go through a variety of questions analyzing a spectrum of a life experience, our life experience, your life experience. Be honest. Don't get caught up in the stories. Be objective. The stories and the narratives around why things are a certain way in our life or how it's unfair, that's what catches most people and keeps them from growth, is that they have a story that this is their life and this is the way it is, and that there's nothing they can do about it. That story keeps people trapped. So eliminate the story and use this information objectively. Just information. And with more information, you can make better decisions about prioritizing the areas of your life that you want to make a big change. And that's going to change the lives of everyone around you. Everyone you know is going to benefit from you doing the work and going through these stages of transformation.
That's right, you guys. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We'll be having a series of emails coming at you with this information that is just vital for health. Stay tuned to tomorrow. Get your tools for growth done today, and have a good day.